Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Lauren, and as you can see, I'm back in my shop again today to share with you loads of lovely new fabrics, which a lot of them are in rolls this month, so they're all piled up behind me, and these are all new arrivals that have come into my shop, Guthrie and Ganny, during the month of October. So I usually like to just kind of round everything up that's come in new on that month, but to see all of the very latest things, because new things tend to come each week, you can always check out the Just Arrived section of the website to see the very latest new things. So I've put together a blog post that goes with this video, and in there you'll find links to all of the fabrics that I'm talking about that are available to buy on the website. So I'll kind of group them together so that it kind of makes sense, but I have got quite a lot to show you, lots of different things. Everything is actually woven this month, which is quite unusual. We sell so much stretch fabric in the shop, but this month it is a lot of wovens that have been arriving. So yeah, there's lots of different things to spark new exciting ideas for projects. So we've got a bit of a kind of range of sort of more kind of fancy or party wear. So maybe this year, if you're thinking about making something that's a bit more fancy rather than just like a jumper and tracksuit bottoms or whatever, which is probably what most of us were wearing kind of last year, to be honest, because of all the restrictions that were here then. Yeah, I've got a few options this month for you. So we've got 3 gorgeous colours of this stretch velvet. Sorry, the roll's going to do something a bit strange at the top here, but I'll open some out to show you. This feels very, very soft and lovely, and it's quite sort of drapey as well, and it is stretchy. It's a two-way stretch really. It doesn't really stretch like up and down the way, but across the way from where the selvage is, it stretches. So it's going to be good for tops and dresses. It would look really lovely, and 3 gorgeous sort of jewel colours. This lovely emerald one, and then we've got a bluey one and a kind of reddy sort of burgundy one as well. So yeah, I think a lovely dress would look really nice in that. It would just sort of swish and kind of move about beautifully. And then also on the rolls, which are just behind me here, we've got a few more that are just kind of a bit fancier and special. This one is absolutely beautiful. This one is a black linear Devore velour fabric. It's viscose and polyester. And if I open some out, you'll sort of get an idea of more what it's like. It's quite sheer, and then it's got these sort of irregular stripes of the black velvet on it, basically. It's not stretch, it is a woven fabric, so it's not stretched like the other velvet ones, but I think this would look absolutely beautiful, even just as like a simple top, say something like the Closet Core Celio top, and then if you had like a little black camisole underneath it, I think that would look really lovely. Or of course you could line it. I think depending on what you're making with it, you could line it with either like, you know, proper lining fabric, which I'm going to show you later. We've got some lovely Cupro lining fabrics, or you could just use like a plain black viscose as well for that, but it's really lovely. It's, yeah, beautiful. It would make a lovely top or dress. And then these ones here, let me just bring both of them over because they're the same fabric but different colorways. These ones are a viscose linen and silk blend, and they've got a really gorgeous texture to them. So this one's pewter, this one is midnight navy, and they do have a bit more structure to them. I think they would look gorgeous as a dress, almost like a kind of fit and flare dress maybe. It would like hold the shape of the skirt section really nicely. And they've just got a really lovely kind of sheen to them that I think just makes them feel a bit more sort of formal and a bit more kind of fancy. But they're really beautiful and gorgeous texture as well. So the linen component part of the fabric just gives them that sort of just that kind of linen texture to it really. You can see it maybe a little bit more on the navy one, that it's got that kind of ruggedy texture to it, but they're both really lovely and nice fibre components in that one with the silk. What is it again? Silk, linen and viscose. And then the next two, let me bring them over. These ones also feel very luxurious. They've got that gorgeous kind of sheen to them that I think just makes them feel a bit more formal and a bit more dressy up. So we've got this gorgeous kind of blush coloured, so it's blush textured satin, and then this one here is burgundy. and they do have a bit more structure to them. It's quite a dense weave as well. I would say you probably would want to use a microtex needle on this fabric just because it's extra sharp and it would be able to cut through that sort of dense weave of the fabric. But again, I think a nice skirt would be good in this, or a dress would be lovely. It doesn't have a totally flat texture. I think you can see when I hold it out, it does have, it's not crinkled, but it's just, yeah, it's not like a totally flat, smooth texture, which I think adds a lot to the character of the fabric. If I hold some of the red one out, then you'll get to kind of see that as well. And then I'll show you up in the close-up videos as well. But yeah, it does, like when you brush your hand over it, it does kind of feel textured. So it's not sort of like pure and smooth like other satins you might feel, but you might have seen. But I actually think that makes it nicer, and it does feel very sort of silky. So yeah, another lovely one for a nice fancy dress or a skirt with that. Okay, the next group of fabrics that I'm going to show you are again still in the rolls behind me here, and they are all fabrics that have wool in them, or they're some sort of wool mixed fabric. Now, if you missed it, I did post a video a couple of weeks ago that is all about warm fabrics. So if you want to make something that is going to make you feel warm, or you're thinking you want to wear something warm, then it is a really good video to learn about just the types of things that you might consider when choosing a project and choosing a fabric that has that sort of properties. But all of the ones I'm going to show you now do have a wool component to them, and the general rule is that the higher the wool component, the warmer that the fabric will be, just because of those natural properties of the wool. So some of you might have seen these ones on Instagram already. These are a wool and cotton mix, and they are washable, and we've got 6 different types of check in this fabric. It's really lovely. It's sort of brushed as well, so kind of got a bit of a fluffy feeling. It is more of a sort of medium to heavier weight fabric, not quite as heavy for making a coat, but something like a heavyweight shirt or a shacket, which is like a cross between a jacket and a shirt. Something like that would be really good. A lot of people also been asking, could you use it to line coat or jacket patterns as well? Absolutely, I think you could. The only thing I would say is just think about the sleeves, and if the sleeves aren't very roomy, then you might want to line the sleeves with a slippery sort of lining, but you could definitely line the bodice with this one, and yeah, it would feel really lovely and cozy. So yeah, 6 gorgeous colours of check in this one, and yeah, you can wash it on a wool wash at 30 degrees. I did a little test on that, and it was fine. It didn't shrink or anything, so that was good. So yeah, lovely kind of classic sort of brushed flannel warm fabric, which is yeah, just perfect for this time of year. And then we've got another few woolen fabrics, some of which are more like coating type fabrics. This one's gorgeous. It's a check, but when you look closely at it, you can just see sort of shades of a really nice kind of red and a sort of purpley tones in it as well. It's lovely. So you maybe see the check more when I kind of open it out. I would say this is definitely more like a coating type weight, so you'd be wanting to make coats with this one. I guess you could make a little skirt with it as well if it was, you know, quite a straight skirt, like a mini skirt or a sort of straighter pencil skirt. I think that would be nice as well, nice and warm. This one is 74% wool, 18 viscose and 8% poly, so quite high wool content, so will be nice and warm. It's got a sort of brushed kind of fluffy texture to it as well. It's lovely. And then the next one that's kind of a bit warmer and woolly is this one here, which, as you might be able to see, the light is just kind of catching that sort of like little bit of glitter in it, which is really nice. So this is a check as well, more of a monochrome vibe, so it's just black and white, but you can see the reverse actually looks quite cool as well, and I think that would make this wool really good if you were doing something unlined, or say it was like a coatigan where, you know, it was a bit kind of looser and you were maybe more likely to see the inside of it, then I think that would look, you know, it would look really nice. So yeah, it's a bit thicker and heavier as well. You could make a skirt from it, I would say, probably a bit heavy for a dress really, but yeah, definitely coats and jackets, coatigans and that sort of thing. So another nice choice. And then the next one is another sort of woolly kind of check one. We'll just pop these to the side. It's always a bit hard when there's lots of rolls because you have to make sure you don't cause an avalanche. So this one also has lots of different accents of colours in it when you look closely. So you can see a bit of yellow, a bit of blue, a tinge of kind of tealy greeny colour there, a sort of kind of gingery amber colour. So yeah, some really nice tones to pick out in there. And actually the reverse looks okay as well. So for those coatigans again, where you're maybe more, or unlined things, where you're maybe more likely to see the inside, I think that would be really nice. It's similar thickness to the others, so you know, a bit heavier. It's going to hold its structure. So yeah, perfect for coat patterns or sort of straighter kind of skirts. That would be nice and cozy. This one is 74% wool, so again, a nice cozy one with that higher wool content. And then this next one here is a bit more unusual. It's beautiful. It is a navy colour and it's 50% wool, 40% poly and 10% acrylic. Now with this one, it's like 2 layers of fabric really. It's a boiled wool with then this really fine fabric over it, and then it's like it's needle punched through into this really cool kind of swirly pattern. I think it looks amazing. It's lovely. This would make a gorgeous jacket or coat. It would be very unusual, and I don't think you need to worry about pattern matching that or anything. I think it would be absolutely fine. But yeah, a nice classic navy colour, but just something a bit more unusual, and where the in between where those sort of needle punched textures shapes are, you can see that the fabric almost kind of bubbles or sort of moves around a bit. So it gives quite a lot of sort of depth and texture to the fabric. It's almost got sort of 3D feel to it. Lovely, very unusual. I really like that one. Okay, then the next one is this really lovely sort of herringbone one that I've got here. Just flip it around so I've got the tag closer to me. This one is 100% wool, so it's going to be nice and warm, but I would say this one is a little bit on the lighter side, so it's going to be good for skirts and dresses, probably a bit too lightweight really for a coat. Potentially you could maybe make a blazer with it, you know, if it's lined and it's got, you know, it would have interfacing in it and things as well. And yeah, just really nice black and red tones in that one, and that classic kind of herringbone texture. So just another lovely one there. So that is all the kind of woolly ones I've got, but sticking with a more kind of jacket sort of theme, I've got these two here, which are a bit unusual. They are water resistant fabrics, or like water repellent fabrics, cotton and polyamide, mostly cotton, 83%. And the key thing about them is that they're reversible. So this one here is red and a kind of khaki colour, which is quite cool. So you could basically choose either of those colours. I don't think it particularly has like a right or wrong side. They both, in terms of how they function and how they look, they both look the same, but yeah, they're just different colours. And then this one is a navy and a bottle green colour. So if you were making like a lightweight unlined raincoat, you could make that, or it might be a nice way to just sort of introduce a nice bit of contrast to your projects. But you'll see when I sort of splash water on them here, you can see it just sort of repels the water, making them water resistant. And then also on the roll here, almost forgot about this one behind me, is this really lovely houndstooth one. Now it's got such an unusual kind of weight and texture to it. It's viscose, cotton and wool with a little bit of polyester, so a mix of quite a few different fibres. And yeah, it's almost like 2 layers of fabric in a way. Like when you look closely, you can see it's got the houndstooth on one side and then just like a weave on the other side, and it gives it a really, really lovely thickness. So a sort of straighter dress would be nice in this, or a little skirt. I think you can make trousers in this as well. It would have to be for a pattern that was for non-stretch fabric, because this doesn't have any stretch in it. But yeah, I just really love the weight of this fabric. It's just unusual because it is like those 2 layers, and I guess you could sort of accent parts of your garment with the reverse of the fabric as well, just to add a little bit of interest. So yeah, another more unusual one there. Okay, sticking with the warmer vibe of fabrics, we've got a few different woolen fabrics in that are more lighter weight that would be really perfect for trousers, kind of looser style trousers. So a few different colours, a few different sort of blues, and then we've got this really lovely kind of greeny colour here as well. And they all have quite a bit of sort of drape to them. So if I open one out just to show you, you can see that the fabric is quite floppy. So I'm thinking like culottes or the Nina Lee Portobello trousers, something that's got a bit of a fuller leg that you would want to swish around a little bit. So this one is the Midnight Twill Weave Wool. It's 100% wool. And usually when we call things midnight, it's kind of like a bit of a toss-up between something being very, very dark navy / black. It depends what light you look at it in. So yeah, when you see things that are called midnight, then it could be interpreted that they're either. Sometimes it depends what you compare it against. So if it was like that you were looking for something that's black or navy specifically, then I would always recommend just ordering a little swatch before you get anything that's midnight, if you definitely want that sort of navy or black shade. This one's definitely got more bluey tones in it here, and it's also sort of feels a bit more kind of brushed or marled a little bit. This is the Indigo Stretch Twill Weave, so it's 96% wool and 4% lycra, so it's just got that little bit of a give in it. It feels very luxurious. It's lovely, really, really soft, and yet just has that more kind of like fluffed up sort of brushy texture, but again still pretty floppy. You can see that it kind of moves around, so those sort of fuller style leg trousers are perfect. Then the Moss Stretch Twill Weave, it's 94% wool, 6% lycra, so just got that little bit of stretch in it. It has more of a sort of flatter feel to it. It doesn't feel as brushed as that last one that I showed you. Probably a bit heavier though. This one definitely feels a bit kind of thicker, but still has that sort of floppiness to it. So yeah, again, it's going to be good for trousers. I guess you could make a dress in it as well if you wanted to. And then the last one is a black one. So this one is the black stretch wool fabric. It's 98% wool and 2% lycra, so just a little bit of stretch in this one, but still that same characteristic of the others and just being quite sort of floppy and move around. So yeah, if you're looking for a classic black pair of warm trousers for this time of year, then that is an excellent option. And then this one here, which is a new one, it's got quite an unusual fibre composition as well. Let's see if I can find the tag. It is linen and wool and polyester. So 16 wool, 31 linen and 53% polyester. And it has got this really lovely check pattern on it, which is just lovely. So if you're looking maybe for something a bit smarter, if you're back in the office or going to work, you have to sort of dress a little bit smarter, this is really nice. I think you can make dresses out of this, maybe sort of straighter shift style dresses. You could make skirts out of this. I think you could make trousers out of it as well. It's not stretchy, so it would need to be a non-stretch pattern. But yeah, it's just really lovely. I love that sort of tone of blue, and then it's almost like a kind of light browny sort of colour. But yeah, I think it just looks really nice in that check. So another one for something that's a little bit smarter. And then sticking with the checks, but moving on to something a bit more colourful and fun, we have got the most beautiful range of the Robert Kaufman cotton flannel. So these are 100% cotton, but they're brushed kind of fluffy flannel fabrics. They feel really soft. They're more of a kind of medium weight, would be good for pyjamas, would be good for shirts. You could use these to line the bodice of jackets or coats as well if you wanted to. Or I think they would also look nice just like a simple top again, the Closet Corsilio is a nice one, or Helen's Closet Ashton, you know, something like that. And yeah, they just come in such a beautiful selection of lots of different colours, so I'll show you a close-up of all of them, but they feel really, really lovely. They're such gorgeous fabrics. We do have a few other checked ones that aren't sort of branded with that Robert Kaufman brand, so they are slightly different. This one here, it's a Seven Berry one, it's a Japanese company. This is the warm plaid yarn dyed cotton twill fabric, so it's 100% cotton. I would say it's a bit lighter weight than those Robert Kaufman ones. It is a little bit brushed as well, but again, not quite as fluffy as the Robert Kaufman one because it's only really brushed on one side. But I just love the colours in that. I made, you might have seen it before, I made a Grain Line Archer shirt in a very similar type of fabric last year, but different colour of check. And yeah, if I hadn't made that shirt, I think I would be definitely making an Archer out of this one. I think the colours in it are beautiful, very autumnal, and it just feels like a really lovely, soft, cosy fabric. But again, you could use that to make pyjamas if you wanted. And then this next one, again, is another check. It's 100% cotton. And it's a really lovely sort of powder blue colour, and then like a classic kind of brownie colour. So again, good for PJ bottoms or a nice shirt or something. It's really nice. This one's wide as well, so you get a bit more fabric for your metre. The other ones that I showed you were narrow, but this one is full width. I think it's probably close to 150, 140 centimetres wide. So yeah, that is everything in the check department. And then sticking with sort of wovens, but these ones are a little bit more kind of lighter weight. These are Robert Kaufman ones as well, and they are, comes in lots of different colours. It is the yarn dyed cotton gauze fabric, so it's a bit like a single layer of gauze. You would have heard me talk about double gauze in the summer. I did a video on that as well, sewing with double gauze. So it's got a really lovely sort of crinkled texture in it, which you wouldn't be ironing out really. That's just part of the character of the fabric. But what makes this one really special is that it's got these gorgeous patterns kind of woven all through it. Comes in various colourways as well, some of which you might be able to see on the shelf behind me here. But this one is the, what colour is this one? This is the charcoal one, which does definitely have bluey tones to it. So I think shirts, tops would be really nice in this one. You could make a dress, but it might feel a bit kind of too summery for this time of year, but it is, you know, you could always save it for next year. It's also a nice one to play about with the direction of the stripes, so they run parallel to the selvage, but you could definitely play around and have different parts of the garment with the stripes going horizontally, so that would just add a little bit of interest there. Okay, the next fabrics, which you would have seen in my warm fabrics video if you watched that one, is our new selection of the Bemberg Quilt Pro fabrics. So this one here is the burgundy colour, but it comes in lots and lots of different colourways. And Quilt Pro fabric is made from like regenerated cotton fibres. So they sort of make it in a similar way that they make like rayon and viscose and tencel in terms of like the process that it goes through. They kind of mush all the cotton down and then put it through quite a sort of refined process to get yarns from it basically. So it ends up sort of crossing between like semi-man-made and natural fibre because it derived from cotton, which is obviously natural, but then just because it goes through quite a lot of processes, then it sometimes gets classed as semi-man-made. But the Quilt Pro linings, the Bemberg Quilt Pro linings, they're Italian and they're very, very good quality. So they're a bit thicker than some maybe like kind of thinner acetate or polyester linings, and they feel very soft and silky. They've got, you know, they swish around, and they are perfect for lining garments. So we're talking jackets, coats, skirts, dresses. You could line all those sort of garments with it, and it's the type of lining that's going to slip over other clothes. So say it's in the sleeves of a coat, then it means it's going to be really easy to get your arm in and out, or if it's on a skirt or a dress and you're wearing tights or leggings underneath, then it's going to slip really easily over that and not cling to them. So yeah, it's that kind of classic typical slippery type lining fabric, but it just feels a bit more luxurious because it's a bit heavier weight and it's a bit softer, and it's going to be breathable as well because it does derive from cotton, whereas the acetate and polyester ones are not going to be quite as breathable. They'll be a little bit more sweaty. So yeah, there's lots of lovely colours to choose in that one. It's a really good option if you're making something special that is going to be lined. And then we do have a few viscose prints. It seemed like a couple of months ago we were just getting inundated with loads of viscose prints, and it has kind of calmed down a little bit now, but there are a few new ones to show you. This one here is a Dashwood Studios one, and it's got a navy background with lots of sort of multicoloured kind of spots or sort of jewels. It's really lovely. This would make gorgeous tops and blouses and shirts. You could make a dress with this as well. It might feel like a bit lightweight at this time of year, but you could, if it was gathered, you would probably be fine. So yeah, a really lovely option for a sort of like deeper, darker toned viscose. And then I've got a couple just on the rolls behind me here, a couple more viscose prints here. This one admittedly is quite summery, but it is really nice. And you know, if you wore a vest and a cardigan and top, then you could definitely do some layering with this one. It's got lovely ochre and blue and pinky tones in it, and yeah, it's just on that really lovely classic soft plain weave viscose that just drapes really nicely and yeah, just feels lovely. And then on the same type of fabric, so that plain weave viscose, we've also got this one here, which is the graphic flourish on ginger. So it's like a sort of orangey colour, very autumnal and lovely. This is make a gorgeous dress or a little top or a shirt. It's just really nice. So these flowers are navy, and then yeah, just that lovely kind of orangey ginger background. Really lovely. So that is all the woven viscoses that I've got, just a couple to show you this month. And then the last few ones that I've got are, we have topped up our range of our plain cotton twill fabric. So I've brought a couple over here to show you, but I'll show you the other shades in the close-up videos. So this is the fabric that is super versatile. It's 100% cotton, it is a twill weave, and it's more of a kind of medium to sort of heavier weight. We've used it quite a few times in kits. So we used it to make the Ilford, we did the Persephone pants in it, we've done the Kelly anorak in it. So yeah, it's a good one for, you could make dungarees out of it as well. So it's a good one for lots of different types of projects. So if you're looking for just a nice sort of range of plain colours for something, then it is a good option to go for. And just remember, it's not stretch, it's 100% cotton. So these two shades here are the Storm, and then my favourite, the Rose. Y'all know I totally love pink though. So yeah, they are two new shades, but we have topped up some of the other shades that we used to have and added some other new ones in as well. So just kind of padded that range out a little bit. And then we do have a few new corduroy fabrics, which are stretch cords. We've got a couple of colourways of this really lovely flowery one. This one feels quite heavyweight. The other stretch needle cord that we've had is a little bit finer than this one. This one just generally feels like a bit thicker, or kind of more bulky, nice and stretchy as well. So it would be good for dungarees, trousers, skirts, dresses, lots of different things. And yeah, just the sort of cute kind of vintagey type pattern in a couple of colourways. And then we've also got the same kind of fabric but in plains. So this one is a really lovely sort of purpley one, aubergine we've called it. We've also got it in a navy and an ochre as well, and it's got that same sort of thickness, so it feels just a bit chunkier, really lovely and soft, nice and stretchy. So I think that would be perfect for a lovely pair of cords. I made a pair of closet core ginger jeans, but using cord fabric. A while back it was in a pink cord, but I think this would also work really, really nicely. It would be lovely. So yeah, a few new options in the cord department. And then finally, to finish off, just a couple of more sort of like fun novelty ones. So a while back you might have seen my tutorial that I did on making a cheeks patchwork quilt. So that was using the Dashwood Studio panel, which is like pre-printed squares of fabric. And then, so it's almost like you've done the patchwork bit already, and then you just quilt it together. So you can check out that tutorial blog post and video there to see how to do it, but we've had a new style of that panel come in. So this one is really, really cute. I love the colours in it as well. Nordiska panel. So yeah, Nordic vibes in this one. It's really cute. So little house, squirrel, some nice flowers, a fox. It's really lovely. Colour palette's beautiful, and then a few coordinating ones to go with that as well. So I'm going to make up another sample, can't resist. And I think I'm trying to work out what I got the fabrics for. I think I'm going to do this one for the backing, and then that one for the binding around the edge. So yeah, if you fancy making a really easy peasy cheeks patchwork quilt, then do check out that tutorial that is on the YouTube channel and the blog as well, and you can find out how to do that, and then of course get the fabrics here. We do still have some of the Good Vibes quilt panel left as well, which is the one that I featured in the tutorial. And then sort of on the same vibe as that, but a bit more Christmassy, we got a little bit of this fun Christmas one. We tend not to do loads of Christmas novelty fabrics because they've not been hugely popular in the past, but I couldn't resist this one. The colours and yeah, the cuteness is just really nice. It is a Dashwood one, so Snow Much Fun ski blocks. Bit of a tongue twister. And you could definitely do some like cheats patchwork quilting with this one here as well. So you could either go for like the smaller squares of fabric. What I would probably do though, just because some of them are sort of offset, let me just open this out for you, is just do it like bigger squares. So I would like go as in like a set of 4 and the kind of rectangular strip that goes across. I would probably make that all sort of one square. So when you did your grid of quilting lines, I would do that. But yeah, it's just lovely if you wanted to make a little, I guess you could make like a little cushion, or you could make a Christmas patchwork quilt too. It's really cute. So I think that sums up everything that I had brought over to show you. Quite a mix of lots of different things this month, but I hope that's been inspiring. If you've got any questions, then feel free to give the shop an email. That's the quickest way to get a response. You can leave a comment on the video too, but sometimes it might take me a little bit longer to get back to you on those ones. Remember, you can check out the blog post that's got links to all of the fabrics that I've mentioned, and you can, so that you can see the listings for them on the website and order them online. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, then just remember to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video, and I shall see you next time. Bye.